UK timing also changed.
The time is changing.
Yes. Now
When is
11:30.
that? It happened
11:30.
already.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Yes, it's also happening here. Okay. Namaste, Dandavat Pranam. By the instruction and grace of our spiritual master Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa, Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Mahārāja, we are here reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Canto 4, The Creation of the Fourth Order, Chapter 20, Text 18. Sprishantam padayo premna vriditam svena karmana satakratum parisvaja vidvesham vishasarjaha. As King Indra was standing by, he became ashamed of his own activities and fell down before King Pṛthu to touch his lotus feet. But Pṛthu Maharaj immediately embraced him in great ecstasy and gave up all envy against him for his having stolen the horse meant for the sacrifice. Purport. There are many cases in which a person becomes an offender to the lotus feet of a Vaishnava and later becomes repentant. Here also we find that although the king of heaven Indra was so powerful that he accompanied Lord Viṣṇu, he felt himself as a great offender for stealing Pṛthu Maharaj's horse that was meant for sacrifice. An offender at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava is never excused by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, there are many instances illustrating this fact. Ambarish Maharaj was offended by Durvasa Muni, a great sage and mystic yogi, and Durvasa also had to fall down at the lotus feet of Ambarish Maharaj. Indra decided to fall down at the lotus feet of King Pṛthu, but the king was so magnanimous a Vaishnava that he did not want Maharaj Indra to fall down at his feet. Instead, King Pṛthu immediately picked him up and embraced him, and both of them forgot all past incidents. Both King Indra and Maharaj Pṛthu were envious and angry with each other, but since both of them were Vaishnavas, or servants of Lord Viṣṇu, it was their duty to adjust the cause of their envy. This is also a first-class example of cooperative behavior between Vaishnavas. In the present day, however, because people are not Vaishnavas, they fight perpetually among one another and are vanquished without finishing the mission of human life. There is a great need to propagate the Krishna consciousness movement in the world, so that even though people sometimes become angry with maliciousness toward one another, because of their being Krishna conscious, such rivalry, competition, and envy can be adjusted without difficulty. Text 19. Bhagavan Atta Vishvatma Pradhuno Parta Harhana Samudhanaya Samujihanaya Bhaktya Grihita Charanambuja. King Pṛthu abundantly worshipped the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is so merciful to him. While worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord, Pṛthu Maharaj gradually increased his ecstasy in devotional service. Purport. When various ecstasies appear in the body of a devotee, it is to be understood that his devotional service has become perfect. There are many types of transcendental ecstasies in the forms of crying, laughing, perspiring, falling down, and crying like a madman. All these symptoms are sometimes visible on the body of a devotee. They are called Asta Sattvika Vikar, which means 8 kinds of transcendental transformations. They are never to be imitated. But when a devotee actually becomes perfect, these symptoms are visible on his body. The Lord is Bhaktavatsala, which means that he is inclined toward his pure devotee, Bhakta. Therefore, the transcendental ecstatic transformation, or the transcendental ecstatic transaction between the Supreme Lord and his devotee, is never like the activities of this material world. Text 20. Prasthanabhimukopyenam anugraha vilambita pasyan padma palakshaksho na prataste surhitsatam. The Lord was just about to leave, but because he was so greatly inclined toward the behavior of King Pṛthu, he did not depart. Seeing the behavior of Maharaj Pṛthu with his lotus eyes, he was detained because he is always the well-wisher of his devotees. Purport. Here the words Suhritsatam are very significant. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is always very inclined towards his devotee and is always thinking of the devotee's well-being. This is not partiality as stated in Bhagavad Gita. The Lord is equal to everyone, samoham sarva bhuteshu. But to one who particularly engages in his service, he is very much inclined. In another place, the Lord says that a devotee always exists in his heart, and he also exists always in the heart of the devotee. The special inclination of the Supreme Personality of Godhead for his pure devotee is not unnatural, nor is it partial. For example, sometimes the father has several children, but he has special affection for one child who is very much inclined toward him. This is explained in Bhagavad Gita 10.10. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam vritti purvakam tadami bodhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Those who constantly engage in the devotional service of the Lord in love and affection are directly in contact with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sitting as the Supersoul in everyone's heart. The Lord is not far away from the devotee. He is always in everyone's heart, but only the devotee can realize the Lord's presence. And thus he is directly connected and he takes instruction from the Lord at every moment. Therefore, there is no chance of a devotee's being in error, nor is there any partiality on the part of the Lord for his pure devotee. Text 21. Sa'adi rajo rachi tanjalir harim vilokitum nasakad asrulochana nakinchano vacha sabashpaviklavo pradho faguhayanmum adhad avastita. The original king, Maharaj Pṛthu, his eyes full of tears and his voice faltering and choked up, could neither see the Lord very distinctly nor speak to address the Lord in any way. He simply embraced the Lord within his heart and remained standing in that way with folded hands. Purport. Just as Krishna is addressed in the Brahma Samhita as Adi Purusha, the original personality, so King Pṛthu, being an empowered incarnation of the Lord, is referred to in this verse as Adi Raja, the original or ideal king. He was a great devotee and at the same time a great hero who conquered over all undesirable elements in his kingdom. He was so powerful that he was equal in fighting to Indra, the king of heaven. He gave protection to his citizens, keeping them engaged in pious activities and devotion to the Lord. He did not collect a single cent of taxes from the citizens without being able to give them protection from all calamities. The greatest calamity in life is to become godless and therefore sinful. If the state or head or king allows the citizens to become sinful by indulging in illicit sex life, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling, then the king is responsible and he has to suffer the resultant sequence of reactions for the sinful lives of the citizens, because he levies taxes on them unnecessarily. These are the principles for a ruling power, and because Maharaj Pṛthu observed all the principles for a ruling chief, he is referred to here as Adi Raja. Even a responsible king like Maharaj Pṛthu can become a pure devotee of the first order. We can distinctly see from King Pṛthu's behavior how he became ecstatic, both externally and internally, in pure devotional service. Just today, we have seen in the newspapers of Bombay that the government is going to repeal its prohibition laws. Ever since Gandhi's non-cooperation movement, Bombay has been kept dry and has not allowed its citizens to drink. But unfortunately, the citizens are so clever that they have increased illicit distillation of liquor, and although not being sold publicly in shops, liquor is being sold in public lavatories and similar abnormal places. Unable to check such illicit smuggling, the government has decided to manufacture the liquor at cheaper prices so that people can have their supply of intoxication directly from the government instead of purchasing it in public lavatories. The government failed to change the hearts of the citizens from indulging in sinful life, so instead of losing the taxes they collect to inflate the treasury, they have decided to manufacture liquor to supply the citizens who hanker after it. This kind of government cannot check the resultant actions of sinful life, namely war, pestilence, famine, earthquakes, and similar disturbances. Nature's law is that as soon as there are discrepancies in regard to the law of God, which are described in Bhagavad Gita as dharmasya glani, or disobedience to the law of nature or God, at once there will be a heavy punishment in the form of sudden outbreaks of war. We have recently experienced the war between India and Pakistan. Within 14 days, there have been immense losses of men and money, and there have been disturbances to the entire world. These are the reactions of sinful life. The Krishna consciousness movement is meant to make people pure and perfect. If we become even partially pure, as described in Bhagavatam, nasta prayeshvabhudreshu, by development of Krishna consciousness, then lust and greed, the material diseases of the citizens, will be reduced. This can be made possible simply by broadcasting the pure message of Srimad Bhagavatam, or Krishna consciousness. Big commercial and industrial firms have contributed many thousands of rupees to a defense fund that burns the money in the form of gunpowder. But unfortunately, if they are asked to contribute liberally to advance the Krishna consciousness movement, they are reluctant. Under the circumstances, the world will periodically suffer from such upsurges and outbreaks of war, which are the consequences of not being Krishna conscious. Text 22. Athavam rijayasru kalabilokayan atriptadrigocharam aha purusham padasprshantam chittim amsa unate vinyasta hastagram uranga vidvisha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead stood with his lotus feet almost touching the ground, while he rested the front of his hand on the raised shoulder of Garuda, the enemy of the snakes. Maharaj Pṛthu, wiping the tears from his eyes, tried to look upon the Lord, but it appeared that the king was not fully satisfied by looking at him. Thus the king offered the following prayers. Purport. The significant point in this verse is that the Lord was standing above the ground, almost touching it. The residents of the upper planetary systems, beginning from Brahmaloka, the planet where Lord Brahma lives, down to Svargaloka, the heavenly planet of Indra, are so advanced in spiritual life that when they come to visit this or similar other lower planetary systems, they keep their weightlessness. This means that they can stand without touching the ground. Lord Viṣṇu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but because he lives in one of the planetary systems within this universe, he sometimes plays as if one of the demigods of this universe. When he first appeared before Pṛthu Maharaj, he was not touching the ground of the earth, but when he was fully satisfied with the behavior and character of Maharaj Pṛthu, he immediately acted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayan from Vaikuntha. Out of affection for Pṛthu Maharaj, he touched the earth, but he rested the front of his hand on the raised shoulder of Garuda, his carrier, as if to prevent himself from falling down. Since the Lord is not accustomed to stand on earthly ground, these are all symptoms of his great affection for Pṛthu Maharaj. Perceiving his fortunate position, Pṛthu Maharaj could not fully look upon the Lord due to ecstasy, but still in a faltering voice he began to offer prayers. And thus ends our reading for today. We'll continue from text 23 on Monday. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Srila Isi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Srila Bhakti Rakshak Shradev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Srila Bhakti Nirmalacharya Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Srila Bhakti Niskam Shanta Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the worldwide devotees. Sama Bhakti Veda Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Navarup Dham Ki Jai. Nrsimhapali Dham Ki Jai. Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Bade Subhadra Ju Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Giri Govardhan Gupta Govardhan Dham Ki Jai. Shankund Radhikund Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Jai Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. Jai Scientific Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. Princeton Bhakti Vedanta Institute Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Institute Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari 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 Bol.
Hari
Jai
Bol.
Kartik Mas Ki Jai. Jai Chumati Uma Devi Dasi Ki Jai.
जय गुरुदेव श्रीपाद कृष्ण केशव प्रभु जी की जय
Dhanavad Stiti.
दंडवत प्रणाम